Hello everybody and welcome to Going for Goldbridge. Hope you're all doing well. Didn't do a show yesterday just because I just ran out of time really. I apologise for that. But sometimes a break's a good thing, and I think that as we approach this period where it just feels like the world's longest week, doesn't it? A week ago pubs were still open, a week ago schools were just closing, and here we are a week later and it does feel like a long week. But I think what's happening now is with the Prime Minister getting it and lots of people are getting it, it's very rife around the UK, and I think it's very rife around the world. And the big lesson is, the big statement everybody should be spreading is stay at home and stay safe and stay away from people as much as you can. This is really important, and I still see things on social media, and I still see groups of people getting together, and I think, why are you doing this? It's absolutely thick. It's really like, you know what it is? It's like having a really bad scar on your arm, and instead of just letting it heal, you just keep picking at it. It won't heal until you just leave it alone. We're not going to get through this until people start staying at home. I know you've got to go shopping and that, and we know that, but the people are just taking the piss. They're taking the absolute piss. And look, when the Prime Minister's getting it and when lots of people around him are getting it, it shows you how rife it is around the country, and it is. It's a lot rifer than people think. But look, I'm going to take some of your questions. I'm going to talk about some stuff as well. The title of the video is I'll Never Do This Again. And I tell you what, I was thinking about this today. You know, sometimes it might not be a Sunday for you, it might be a different day, but you know, sometimes on a day you just think, oh God, I'm really bored. I will never ever do that. And that's a positive thing to come out of this, is that I don't think any of us will ever do that again, where we go, oh God, look at the Sunday afternoon match, it's Norwich against Everton, I'm so bored. I think we'll all embrace that. We'll all embrace that and use our time a lot better. And that to me is one of the big positives of this week, is the time that you get to spend with your families, but also the time to do stuff that probably you don't do. And I said this earlier in the week, you know, probably a lot of us live our life with blinkers on, in the fifth gear and just foot down. And, you know, we're now almost, we're not in reverse, I don't agree with that, but I think we're definitely in first gear, and we get to see everything as we go slower. And a lot of the things that we're now seeing, I mean, this is a very good analogy, even if I say so myself. I think in that car we are in the fifth gear and we are bombing along, and you don't have time, blink and you'll miss it. Oh, I didn't see what you on about, what you on about. And if you go down into the first gear, it's too slow, but you've got loads of time to be looking around and appreciating things a lot more. So I do think that when we come out of this, which we will come out of this, boredom is not an excuse for anybody, is it? Because we have got so much time on our hands now, and when we do go back to normal life, where we can go to a restaurant, we can go and see friends and family, we can, leave the house and etc., then you've got to take into account what we've been through with this, and have your eyes more open and of the world around you. So yeah, I definitely think that's important. Also, I just think that, as I said, I just want to really bring it home, because I think if it's a bit like spreading a message organically, you can watch an advert and you can ignore an advert, but if people you want to listen to say it to you, you will tell people as well. So really push it to everybody. Stay home, stay safe, and let's get through this as quick as possible, because the numbers are shooting up. I mean, I think in Italy it had looked like it was dropping down at the start of the week. I think they've had their biggest day in relation to fatalities today, so that's still very, very big in Italy. Same in Spain. We're starting to go up, so I think we know what's coming in April, don't we? It's going to be a bad couple of weeks. The numbers are ridiculous. We're getting close to 1,000 in the UK. So this is not a surprise. And this is why people have been saying for the last, it was only last weekend where bank holiday spots like Snowdonia were packed, even though people were being told we're on lockdown. We're basically, you work from home, stay at home as much as possible. So it's a relatively short period of time that this is happening in, and I think, as I said, in the next couple of weeks it'll be interesting. One thing I would urge people to do, we did this last night, and some of you might do it anyway, but again, in that fifth gear, never really get time to do it. Our socialising is actually going to somebody's house, going to a restaurant, going to a pub. We never do this, what we did last night, and it's nothing like that. It's getting see if I can get one, getting a phone, and getting someone on WhatsApp or Skype or whatever, getting them on a video, putting it like that, in your kitchen or in your living room, sit there with a glass of wine, whatever you want to call it, and actually have a chat. And do it that way, and it works. You know, first couple, it's a bit like when Manchester United played behind closed doors. It was a little bit weird for a first few minutes, but then you get used to it. And actually, we were chatting for 2 hours last night, just as in friends. They're in a different house. We were chatting for 2 hours, chatting away, having a great time. And you know, after them first few minutes, you don't realise it. I mean, I'd probably had too many beers, to be honest with you, but really settled into it, and it was good. And I would encourage people to do that, because I know that this week you do feel isolated because there isn't really anything live happening. You're not really interacting with people other than the people in your house. They can't go anywhere either, so it is a really good idea to do that. But the funny thing is, when I was talking last night, I was talking about something, and it really reminded me of how I'm actually quite good at self-isolation, because when I was younger, my sister's about 3 years younger than me, and I used to hate her coming in my room. So, but sometimes, like, I had the telly in my room, and as you walked into my bedroom, the TV was sort of like, you could see the telly from my room, from the doorway of my room, and then so there's the door to my room, there's the telly, there's the door to my room, so you could see the telly there, and then my bed was sort of down there. So I could lie in bed watching my TV there, and there's the door sort of that way. So what used to happen is that I didn't used to want my sister to come into my room, so I would be like, you know, you're not coming in my room, I don't want you in my room. But then I'd get told, yeah, well, she's allowed to watch the telly if you're watching it upstairs, because they'd be watching something different downstairs. So there was this little red chair that we used to have, so I used to stick it right on the, like the carpet barrier between your rooms, like on the hallway and your living room and your bedroom. I would put it there, and she would watch the telly, so I couldn't see her, but she'd be watching the telly. And even if it came over the barrier a little bit, I'd be like, move it back a bit. Sounds harsh, but I was actually probably preempting what we're doing now. Self-isolation, you see. We can all enjoy the telly, but you can watch it from your own area. You're not coming within 2 metres of me. Thank you very much. So that works quite well as well. Let's have a look at some of your questions for today as well. What's your favourite crisp, says Callum Moffat. My favourite crisp is, I like them pop chips at the moment. I'm really into them, barbecue pop chips or sour cream. I really like those. So they're not really crisps, probably not, because I don't think they are classed as crisps, but I do like those. I really, really do. Adam Arno says Del Boy or David Brent. Well, Only Fools and Horses or The Office. I mean, it's got to be Del Boy. Del Boy's got to win. I mean, his back catalogue is brilliant. Falling Through the Bar. The trips to Margate, yeah, Del Boy's got more of a repertoire, but I did like David Brent in The Office. Favourite chocolate bar, says Aidan. Well, I do like Topics. They've got hazelnuts in them. People are a bit dodgy about that, but I think my favourite one is probably Marvellous Creations, with the candy bits and the popping candy in it. They're really nice, so I'll probably put them in, and I think that would get me a lot of wins, I think. Seeing it's my birthday, what's the best birthday gift you've ever received, says Bradley Harrison. I'm not big on birthdays. Let's tell you what birthdays are to me. Christmas is Christmas, birthday is Easter. That's what I mean. Like, Christmas and Easter is like Christmas and birthday to me. Christmas is the good one, that's the one I like. Birthdays like Easter, yeah, it's okay, but it's not Christmas. So birthdays, I don't know. I think that, yeah, I don't know. I mean, but I don't know what. Look, I wouldn't class myself. I suppose it's because I'm so selfless. I'm a selfless person. So when it's all about me, I'm like, oh no. But I don't think it's that. I just think birthdays. I think Christmas is always a bigger deal. I think you always get better presents for Christmas than you did for your birthday. So my best ever birthday present. Probably like trainers or something from the wife or something like that. Yeah. What animal would you be reincarnated into, says Paul DeLucas. I've done this before. What animal? And I think you'd have to be something really like a lion or something like that. Something that's not going to take any shit where it lives. Like, if you come back as an antelope, you've got a chance of getting eaten. Yeah. If you come back as a cat, a dog might bite you. If you come back as a mouse might bite you. If you come back as a lion, well, you might get shot by some big American idiot who's paid loads of money to shoot you. But other than that, you're the king. King of the jungle. Lions aren't really king of the jungle, are they? Do lions live in the jungle? That's a tiger. So, out on the plains, I think a lion Yeah, and a male lion has it pretty good, doesn't he? So yeah, I think a lion would be quite good. Yeah, quite fancy a lion. Not in that way, but you know what I mean. Do you feel YouTube has evolved you as a person? Could you have ever seen yourself in the position you are in now 10 years ago, says Jay Skywalking? No, I don't think it has evolved me. I think it's made me better at doing this, but talking to a camera, but I don't think it's evolved me as a person. I think most of my opinions are the same. Most of the conversation is the same. Most of my sense of humour is the same. I don't know. I think, look, I've been doing YouTube for 5 years, and most of my personality, decisions of evolution, came from the things that I did before this. So no, I don't think it has. But I could. I'm probably in the minority with that. I think a lot of people, it probably has done, especially when you think at the average age of a YouTuber is probably in their 20s. And I look back at my 20s, because I didn't do YouTube in my 20s. That's where you do a lot of your growing. Harry Stokes, in a different world, I would read that comment out. Basically, he says, well, he's not said it in this way, but he says, where's the craziest place you've ever had onanism? Is that is that a grown-up way of saying it? I'm not going to answer it, but there you go. I don't know why YouTube keeps doing this. There's normally a lot more questions than this, and it just keeps throwing up. Like there's 116, and my YouTube. Here we go. Funniest moment at a family member's or friend's wedding, says Hawkshead. I think the one that stands out to me is that we went to this wedding over in Belfast. And we went the night before, and everyone was staying in the hotel where the wedding was going to be. So everyone got there sort of like early evening, checked in, went down to the bar. The wedding was the next day. So everyone was like having a couple of drinks, sitting down, and it was like, obviously, we're not going to go mad, are we? We're not going to go mad tonight because tomorrow's the wedding. Many drinks later, everyone got absolutely smashed the night before the wedding. So much so that at the wedding itself, loads of people were hungover. You got through the main course, and like, I think we went to bed at about 10 o'clock, and that was on the actual wedding night. We could hear the disco and everything like that, but we were just absolutely wrecked from the night before. So that was quite funny, because we weren't the only people to do it. How do you keep yourself motivated in these unprecedented times, says Adil CR7. Very good point, and I think that it's a mental battle. This is a mental battle. I mean, physically you've got to keep yourself fit, because you know, you might be confined, you have your one walk or whatever a day, but ultimately it is a mental battle, because you've got to motivate yourself to do the physical exercise, you've got to motivate yourself to get through the day, and I think the best way to do it is to schedule things in. I think organisation in this sort of scenario is very, very important. And I remember like speaking to people, like, you know, from when I was in the police, rehabilitation centres and that, and you speak to people, and one of the things that always intrigued me was, like, you know, prison life. How do you get through that when you've got a 6-month sentence? And they said, well, it's very structured, and that helps. You know, lights out, time to get up, you know, education time, exercise time, and you work your way through it by doing that. So I'm not saying we're all living a prison sentence. That's not what's happening. But I do think if you allow things to slip, and you wake up each day and go, what am I going to do today? You're going to have problems. And that's in any scenario. So I think having some sort of structure is important. And no, you know, when I say structure, you might say for the next 2 hours I'm just going to chill out, play a bit of PS4, watch a bit of Netflix. That's still structure. Structure doesn't mean brush your teeth and wash your toes. It doesn't mean that. It just means like have a bit of structure in there. So you know, you might get up, you might have a bit of breakfast, might do a bit of work, a bit of DIY, have your dinner, watch the news, you know, or just structure it around me. I mean, you've got FIFA, you've got Goldbridge, you've got United stand at 8 o'clock. You know, you can structure your life around that if you want. It's only for a few weeks, isn't it? Hopefully. So yeah, but I think that for me, structure is really important, and doing the things that you want to do, like doing the things that you like to do. I mean, I was talking about on the United stand with Loz about how, you know, what a lot of people are watching films and Netflix and TV series at the moment, and the things that I would watch would be things like The Office, things like Only Fools and Horses, because they're familiar and I like them and they make me feel happy. And I think in a time where we probably feel a little bit lost and uncertain, watching something that's familiar and makes you happy is good for your mental well-being. So again, watch the United Stand at 8 o'clock every night. Do you think that the UK will end up in the same state as Italy and Spain are in now, says George Morell? And he's had a few replies on that. I think that we don't know. We don't know is the honest answer, and I think we're doing our best at this moment in time to curb it. You know, some of the things are quite scary, isn't it? You know, there's going to be a hospital in London that's made by the army. That's basically an exhibition centre. There's going to be one in Birmingham that's going to have thousands of people in it. Those thousands of people to be in a hospital have got to be very ill. Like, a lot of people with this virus to have mild symptoms. So if you're going to have beds for, you know, maybe 10,000 people to be ill at one time, it shows you the volume of people that we're going to have having this illness. Considering, I think 20% get it really bad. So if you've got 10,000 beds and that's 20%, that's, what's that, 50,000 people could be ill with it at any one time. So big numbers. I think the next 2 to 3 weeks are going to be very interesting, and I think that people need to settle down, stay at home as much as possible, stop bloody stockpiling food and shit like that, and just start being responsible. And I really did like it at 8 o'clock last night when people were out clapping and applauding the NHS, because it's that sort of a mentality we need to see, that camaraderie more. School anytime. Why are people doing that? And do you know how to cook? And if you do, what's your favourite dish to cook? Says Bright Oliphant. So I'm not the main cooker. No, I'm not. But I do like, I do like cooking, but I'm not very efficient at it. Like, I create a lot of mess, and but I do like it. I mean, lasagna. Probably lasagna is my favourite thing to do because it's my favourite food. I do like a good lasagna or a spag bowl. The thing about a spag bowl for me is, I don't know what you lot think. So the pasta takes care of itself, but the spaghetti bolognese sauce, I want it to be quite thick. I don't like a spaghetti bolognese sauce that's running. I want it to be quite thick. So yeah. Alec Dukas, just for something a little bit light-hearted, would you rather be stranded in the middle of the ocean or in the middle of the Florida Everglades? I think either way you're fucked, aren't you, to be honest with you, Alec? I mean, if you're in the middle of the ocean, you're screwed. You're definitely going to die, because the chances of a boat finding you are pretty slim if you're in the middle of the ocean and you're never swimming back. It's not like swimming the length of the pool, is it, when you're knackered? You're screwed if you're in the middle of the ocean. If you're in the middle of the Florida Everglades, that's a lot of water, isn't it? Yeah, and there's a lot of things in there. So you probably got a better chance in the Everglades, but I wouldn't fancy either. I'd probably just... Yeah. That's the good thing about self-isolation. There's not much chance of me being in either of those, is there? Top 5 video games you like playing, for example, FIFA. At the moment, my top 5 games would be... I've got a snooker game, World of Snooker. The Call of Duty, FIFA 20, Football Manager, and NHL hockey. Yeah, they're the 5 that I play the most at the moment. Do I like the movie Heat? It's one of my favourite films of all time, James. It's absolutely fantastic. And just how mad is the world going to go when football is officially back? Look, the longer we don't have the things that we want, the more exciting and brilliant it's going to be when they get them back. So that's the thing to hold on to as a positive. We're going to have to go through some really negative times over the coming weeks. There's going to be a lot of people dying. We know this. There's nothing we can do about it. But there is. A lot of people are going to die. A lot more people will die if we don't stay in and we don't self-isolate. So we can stop it. We know there's an inevitable number that's going to happen no matter what we do. But that number could be a lot bigger if we don't do what we need to do. And that's the big thing. I agree with you there. There is a positive end to this where we all come out and we go back to normal and we're like, yes, back of the net. But we're going to have to graft to get what we want back. And I don't think some people understand at the moment that the more... It's that wound on the arm. The more you pick it, it ain't going to heal. Ignore it, stay at home, and focus on what's important, and we'll get back where we want to be quicker. That's the mindset people need to have. And when we get it back, it's going to be a party. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. And I think we'll come out of it better people for it, because we've got to work together to get through this. And I think we're going to stumble along the way, and I think there's going to be some dips, but I think ultimately it's about everybody switching on to the same page. So if you can spread anything this weekend, stay at home, stay safe, stop interacting with people as much as possible, because I know people are doing it. I see them on the street. You can almost see them thinking this is over the top, and they actually are talking. You know, they've not done the 2 meters. A lot of people are, but there's a lot of people who you can just tell they think, well, what's this all about? And then what will probably happen is they'll get a phone call saying, you know what, such and such has died from it, and they'll go, shit, this is real. And I think a lot of people have realised it's real, but I think a lot more people need to realise it's real too. But look, thanks everyone for watching. Positivity and togetherness will bring us through this, but ultimately isolation and staying at home is what's going to get us through it. And I know that sounds like a contradiction, but we've got to be together as a race with the message that needs to go out and the thing that we need to do. We've been given a task here, and our task is to stay away from strangers and people outside of our household as much as possible. Some people can virtually do it all the time, apart from shopping. Some people are doing great work out there and they've got to, interact. That's just the way it is. But people who've got no excuse other than to stay at home shouldn't be interacting with people. Thanks for watching, everyone. Speak to you all soon.